Alright, we're going to wrap up this chapter by looking at some real-world applications and some word problems. A couple vocab phrases we need are angle of elevation and angle of depression. Angle of elevation goes from the ground up, and angle of depression goes from the ground or from some horizon that's not the ground and down to find the angle of you looking towards your object. Alright, so in our problem here, we are standing 115 feet away from the National Monument, and we have an angle of elevation of 78.3. So in our triangle, we have our theta over here, we have 115, and we have y. And if we note that 115 is the adjacent side and y is the opposite side, then we know actually which trig function uses opposite and adjacent. Tangent uses opposite and adjacent. Tangent theta is opposite over adjacent. So we're going to plug in what we know. We know it's 78.3 degrees. And we know that it's y over 115. So to plug this in, we're going to say tangent of 78.3. We're going to times it by 115. And what we end up with is 555.314 for y. Alright, let's take a look at the one for you to try. Read this problem, try it, and unpause when you're ready to see a solution. Alright. The distance away is 45 meters. You've got an angle of elevation of 82 degrees. The extra height is 123 meters. And so we want to find y. So we'll say the tangent of 82 degrees is the opposite over adjacent. Tangent of 82 times 45 equals 320.192 for y. And so we'll say the height of the whole building would be y plus 123, and that is 443.192 for the height of the entire building. Let's try one more. Historic lighthouse is 200 yards from a bike path along the edge of a lake. A walkway to the lighthouse is 400 yards away. Let's find the angle theta. Alright, so what we're looking at here is the opposite and the hypotenuse. So that's going to be sine. Alright, sine theta is 200 over 400, which is 1/2. And so we know this. There's a special angle where the sine is 1/2. That angle is 30 degrees. Okay? So the only ones we know how to solve this for so far are 30, 45, and 60. We'll figure out later how to figure out that angle for any degree. But for right now, we just need to know 30, 60, and 45. All right, so why don't you try this one? You're skiing down a mountain with a vertical height of 1,500 feet. Read the rest. Try it. I got the answer coming up. Alright, the vertical height is 1,500. The distance from the top of the mountain to the base is 3,000. How long you're going to ski. Okay? What's the angle of elevation from the base to the top? So here's your theta. And so this again is sine theta equals 1,500 over 3,000. Your zeros cancel. This is 1/2. And so once again, theta is 30 degrees. Alright, last one, example 9. Find the length C of the skateboard ramp. And so we've got opposite over hypotenuse. The sine of 18.4 degrees is opposite over hypotenuse. Let's plug this in. And we're going to move this around. If we times C, and then we divide it by sine of 18.4. We can get the variable we want by itself. 4 divided by sine of 18.4. The reason I'm doing this is that now I can plug this all into the calculator all in one move and not lose anything to rounding, which is helpful. C ends up being 12.672. All right, last one for you to try. Give it a shot. 71. All right, the guy wire is our hypotenuse in this case, so we're going to say sine of 43 is opposite over hypotenuse. And so the hypotenuse, we can flip this around, is 150 over the sine of 43 degrees. Plug it into the calculator, and we get 219.942. And how far from the base of the tower is the guy wire anchored to the ground? So now we want the adjacent over here, so we can say, and I'd rather use 150 than 219, just because there's no decimals on it. So I'm going to use tangent of 43 equals 150 over A. So A equals 150 over the tangent of 43. And we end up with 160.855. All right, good job making it through. We are done with 4.3.